Okay, so Barcelona are definitely going to be assessing the center back position. So let me explain. Iñigo Martínez earlier had an interview and he stated, I spoke to Flick after the tour because we already had enough going on during it and I didn't want to add to it. Once we returned, I decided to talk to him, to be honest with him, because I knew he would understand my situation. I had 1 year left on my contract and at 34 years old, these opportunities are hard to turn down. I caught him by surprise, but he understood perfectly. Then Iñigo Martínez talked about how Flick felt during that conversation and he stated, from the second minute, Flick was very sad because he had a lot of appreciation for me and it was mutual. It was a sad and emotional moment because I was opening myself up to another city and another country and I was no longer going to be part of the group. And then he spoke about the irresistible offer that Nassr gave to him. And so Iñigo Martínez stated this, when you see the offer, you can't believe it. No one is prepared to see this type of contract. At least I wasn't. I've been a worker in football, climbing the ladder through effort and sweat. But when you receive this kind of contract, it catches you off guard and even more so for the family. Economically, you can't compare this league with the others. Looking at my career, looking at what I have given at Barcelona, I felt I had to take the next step. A footballer's career is short and when this train comes by, it's very hard to say no. And speaking about Saudi Arabia offers, right? I also want to talk about Lewandowski because Lewandowski could have been another player to leave Barcelona this summer. It could have been Lewandowski and Iñigo Martínez, two veterans that could have left our squad and left us with a bunch of youngsters. And so the agent of Lewandowski, Zavi, stated this, in Saudi they offered Lewandowski more than 100 million euros per season, but he preferred to fight for LaLiga and the Champions League at Barcelona, and he almost achieved both goals. Barcelona is where he feels more comfortable. Also, Saudi clubs are overflowing with players and don't know what to do with them. There are limits for foreigners, which restricts their options, but Lewandowski didn't want to play there anyways. And so I have two conclusions coming from Zavi and Iñigo Martínez. Point number one, this does tell me that the Iñigo Martínez situation and his decision to go to Saudi just came out of nowhere, meaning Flick did plan to have Iñigo Martínez going through this brand new season. Flick assessed, okay, I'm going to be starting with Iñigo Martínez and Cubarsí at the back, and if Araujo does get better, Araujo can break into the starting 11, but he had a plan with Iñigo Martínez. But now Flick has to reassess and ask, how do I tackle this situation? Now that Iñigo Martínez is gone and all of my plans that I have been building over the past 4 months is wiped out, what do I do now? Does this mean, and I'm going to ask you guys, does this mean that Barcelona are going to be adding more emphasis on a player like Andreas Christensen because he's basically a brand new signing? Or do you see Barcelona signing a brand new center back? I'm going to be giving out more clarification in just a few minutes. But sticking with the Saudi Arabia and Barcelona connection that we have right now, it is safe to say that Barcelona have a lot of Saudi offers. They do. Like, it's like Saudi are looking at Barcelona and saying, oh my god, bro, we need their whole starting 11. Because think about it, Rafinha was wanted by Saudi last summer. They were willing to triple or quadruple his wages, and Rafinha said no. I have something to do and something to give for the 2024-2025 season, which he did. He had the best season of his freaking life. And then for Ferran Torres, the same thing. They wanted Ferran Torres last summer. They still want Ferran Torres this summer, as we discussed before, willing to quadruple his wages, give Barcelona a big fee, etc., etc. And Saudi also want, of course, Lewandowski, and they were willing to offer him 100 million euros this season. That is life-changing money, bro. That is a lot of money. 100 million euros a season is almost just as much as the Nico Williams and Luis Diaz transfer fee combined. And we're talking about wages here. But I'm happy to see that we have players in our squad who are committed, like Ferran Torres, like Rafinha. And I do think that when you're young, and you're younger at the very least, your commitment is much easier to your club. Because when you are a player who is in their 30s, like for example, Lewandowski at 36, that impresses me a lot. You still deny Saudi, bro. At the age of 36 years old, you are 2 years older than Iñigo Martínez. That is insane. And Iñigo left. But Lewandowski said, no, I am a star. I want to win more trophies at Barcelona. And I believe that Lewandowski is dying to have one thing. There's a reason why he continues to say no to Saudi and wants to have continuity at Barcelona, is because he is missing one thing, and that is the Champions League. Lewandowski wants the Champions League and wants to bring the Champions League to FC Barcelona. So that does excite me a lot. Now, stepping away from the Saudi-Barcelona relationship, let's talk about what Barcelona have been doing in the transfer window to really solidify this idea that Barcelona might be looking at a brand new center back for the next 2 weeks, because we already have the confirmation from Iñigo Martínez that he thought about this not too long ago. This whole plan about going to Saudi just came out of nowhere, leaving Flick in the dust. But Barcelona this summer, coming through the works of Deco, they have generated 75 million euros this summer when it comes to transfer fees and salary salary savings. As we look at this list, we have sold Iñigo Martínez to Al Nassr. We have saved 14 million euros in wages. Hansi Flick loaned to Monaco, 12 million euros saved. Lenglet left to Atletico Madrid, 12 million euros also saved. Pau Víctor to Braga, 12 million euros fixed plus 3 million euros in variables. Àlex Valle to Como, 6 million. Pablo Torre to Mallorca, 5 million. Sergio Dominguez, 1.5 million. Noah Darvish, 1 million. And the list does go on from there that ultimately allows us to say that we have gained 74.8 million euros in income when it comes to combining the salary savings and the transfer fees. It's a huge amount of money and huge business from FC Barcelona. Now, if you're going to question whether this is one of the biggest summer sales that a club has had so far, I will tell you we are not even close, because when you look at Bayer Leverkusen, they have generated like 200 million euros plus, only because of one player, by the way, because of floating inverts, but we're nowhere near the top 5. All in all though, Barcelona are doing a tremendous job and generating this type of revenue without really letting go of important players in our squad, besides Iñigo Martínez, of course. Now, in this exact same report, Roger Torreo stated, once LaLiga approves the 1-1 rule return, Barcelona can use the 75 million euro generated to register the pending players. Also, Barcelona awaits LaLiga's medical commission verdict on Ter Stegen's injury to determine if 50% or 80% of his salary can be used to register Joan García for Saturday's La Liga opener against Mallorca. Now, keep in mind, if Ter Stegen does get analyzed and they say that Ter Stegen is going to be out for 3 to 4 months, Barcelona can only use 50% of his salary space. But if the doctors say that Ter Stegen is going to be out for more than 5 months, then Barcelona will be able to use 80% of his salary space for the wage bill, and really helping us a lot to register the players that we do need. So notice how Barcelona have so many plan A's and plan B's and plan C's. We have the 75 million euros generated, Ter Stegen's injury. We also have the VIP seats that are going to be sold. All of this does amount to one thing. It states here, according to Sport, that Deco is expected to return from a personal trip to Brazil and sit down with Flick to analyze whether it is feasible to make a defensive signing. Although Flick said he didn't believe it would happen, he didn't close the door entirely, stating that he would first need to analyze it thoroughly with the sporting director. So, like I've said, it does seem like Barcelona are considering signing a brand new center back, and assuming if everything does go well. Once again, I want to ask you guys this: do you believe that Barcelona should sign a brand new center back? And if you do, who do you believe that center back should be? I do have my own freaking thoughts and delusional theories. Obviously, I want Barcelona to sign Bastoni, but I don't think that's going to happen because Bastoni costs a lot of money. I would be surprised, right? I would really be surprised if Barcelona have the audacity to approach Inter Milan, because Inter Milan are not good negotiators and they don't sell anybody for cheap, but I would be surprised. But Bastoni, sportingly talking, we're not talking about financially, but sportingly, to me, makes the most sense. He is a left-footed left center back. He's the perfect profile, bro. Like, give me a Bastoni Cubarsí center back partnership or a Bastoni Araujo center back partnership. That would be insane. But to have a real conversation with you guys, I want to offer 2 center backs that Barcelona might potentially encounter. One of them is going to be Nico Schlotterbeck from Borussia Dortmund. And the reason why I believe that he'll fit is because, first of all, he's German, so he already has a connection with Hansi Flick. He's 25 years old, very young. He's a left-footed center back with excellent ball-playing abilities and standing at 1.91 meters tall. He offers a huge physical presence for Barcelona that is very much required, and also maintaining a 90% pass accuracy in the Bundesliga. Now, Dortmund is reportedly willing to offer Schlotterbeck a contract extension, and they're willing to double his salary to 12 million euros per season. However, Barcelona could potentially secure his signing for around 35 to 45 million euros if the opportunity is there. To me, this signing makes a lot of sense because, once again, his progressive passing of 4.3 per game and his ability to step out of defense does align with Hansi Flick's system. And the fact that he has huge Champions League experience, of course, why not bring a player like him in? Let's talk about another one, and that is going to be Loic Bade from Sevilla. He's also 25 years old. He's French, not German, but when you are a center back and you complete 85.7% of your passes, which is one of the highest among Spanish center backs, by the way, that is really good. And at 6'3", just like Nico Schlotterbeck, he provides the physicality that Barcelona do need to demonstrate great 1v1 defensive duties, and he also demonstrates excellent ball distribution skills. Sevilla is reportedly willing to sell him for 30 to 35 million euros. That is great for our budget. So let me know in the comment sections down below, do you believe a player like Nico Schlotterbeck and Loic Bade could be ideal signings that Barcelona could make in the very near future, meaning within these next 2 or 3 weeks? Really, do you see them as viable options, or do you have other opinions in mind? Let me know in the comment sections down below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one.